transform if we want to transform transport. But let me now go to Milan, which of course has also, like Mexico City and indeed like Moscow, suffered horrific traffic jams in the past. Paul Roma reminded us that congestion charges, and of course Milan won its Transport Achievement Award for a congestion charge that it has adopted. Congestion prices may be politically unacceptable, he told us, if they are proposed too late in the game. But you had enormous public support for your congestion charge. How? How did you get that?
Well, well, it depends on the period, to be true, because our congestion charge was born by a public referendum that was after the city election in 2011, where most of the people said yes to 5 referendums on mobility, on sustainable mobility, and on environment. It was on June 2011. We spent the autumn to discuss with citizens, with more than 100 of associations and categories, which rules to put on the congestion charge we were going to introduce. In January, we started the new congestion charge, so just 6 months from the referendum to the realization of the policies. As people voted for the referendum in June, I would say that on January, when we started, it was not that easy as it was on June, because there were protests. Probably, I don't know why, citizens don't think that a politician will do what they promise, so they thought we promised the congestion charge, but we will not realize it. So in the first weeks, it was quite hard for us to explain what we were doing. But when the congestion charge began, the mood of citizens changed again, because they saw the results of the congestion charge. From one day to the next, the traffic was reduced of more than 30%, and now it's still 28% less than before. Milan, for TomTom Europe Index in 2010, was the 10th most congestion city of Europe. Now, after 2 years, is out of the 20 most congestion city of Europe. Something is really changed. The public transport, the bus transport speed increased of the 6%. The car accident decrease of 24%. Even outside the congestion charge area, traffic was reduced by 7%. And we used the money we earned by the congestion charge to pay the service of the new subway line, it was open last year, and to double the bike sharing system that now takes 200 bike stations. Well, of course, it was not easy, but we had always part of the city, most of part of the city, the Say de Paul, that was in favor of this politics. Now we are doing something more because, okay, congestion charge is there, but citizens say, then what's next? And so we are trying to face the main problem of our city, that is the fact that 10 years ago there were 65 cars for 100 inhabitants. Now situation is a little better, it's 55, but it's too much compared to the situation of other large European cities. And it is a difficult in order to create a new pedestrian area, new bike lines, and new bus lines. So we introduced a car sharing system, and in the last 6 months we moved from 100 car sharing cars to 1,500 cars, from 5,000 subscribers to 100,000 subscribers, in order to say citizens that we are convincing them to use less car, not only with restriction like a congestion charge, but also with the new opportunities. And even the protest was an opportunity for a large-scale debate on the city, on how we move in Milan. And in the last 2 years, the number of people that subscribe a monthly or annual pass of public transport was increased of 25%. So something is changing. This month we introduced a new pedestrian area around the castle of the city, Castello Sforzesco, that say what is the second phase of a congestion charge. So to rescue space for citizens, for new pedestrian area, and that is something we hope you will see, especially if you come to visit Milan during World Exposition of the next year.
Thank you very much. So a couple of more elements to put into our mix of what you need to have. Clearly, that linkage to broader aims, again, comprehensive solutions, but making a clear linkage to things people do want, like more park space. And then secondly, quick and visible results. Yesterday in a panel, I was told that politicians like to do things that get success quickly because then they get reelected. And clearly this was good for you and good for the citizens as well. Let me move on now to the city of Moscow.